the Sycamore Junior High production of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. We hope you enjoy the show. We ask that you take the time now to turn off any cell phones, pagers, or anything that makes sound. We also ask there is no flash photography during the production, for it may distract the actors and crew on stage. Please take a minute to locate the closest exits in case of an emergency. If you would like to recycle your program at the end of the show, please put them on the table where you entered. Now, sit back, relax, and don't be a Scrooge during this production.
Marley was dead. To begin with, there's no doubt whatever about that. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come of the story that I'm going to relate. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge and Marley had been partners. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and his sole mourner. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door, Scrooge and Marley.
Scrooge was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, clutching, scraping, covetous old sinner, hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel ever struck out generous fire, secret and self-contained, as solitary as an oyster. External heat and cold had little influence on Scrooge. No warmth could warm him, nor wintry weather chill him. Nobody ever stopped Scrooge in the streets to say, with gladsome looks, "My dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?" No beggars implored him to bestow a trifle. No children asked him when it was o'clock. No man or woman ever, once, in all his life, asked the ways to such and such a place of Scrooge. But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked, to edge his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all human sympathy to keep its distance. Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy at his counting house.
Mr. Cratchit!
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
What, pray tell me, Mr. Cratchit, are you doing?
I'm putting some more coals on the fire, sir. It's almost out, and it's rather cold today, sir.
Mr. Cratchit, it is well known that when the body is occupied with vigorous work, it supplies its own heat and does not require the burning of expensive coal for which I have paid. Now, if you find that you do not have enough work to keep you warm, perhaps I no longer require your services. In that case, sir, I do believe that you will find it rather more cold outside than inside. Now return to your work.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Merry Christmas, Bob Cratchit.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Fred, and a most happy New Year.
Why, thank you, Bob. And how is that splendid family of yours?
Oh, very well indeed, sir. Why, just the other day...
Mr. Cratchit! If I speak to you one more time about your lack of diligence, sir, you will keep your Christmas by losing your position.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
And a very Merry Christmas to you, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug? Uncle, you don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right do you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
What right do you have to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in a world of such fools as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon a Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills you have no money for? A time to find yourself a year older and yet not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Uncle, nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you. Much good has it ever done you.
There are many things from which I have might deserved, but which I have not profited. I've always thought of Christmas as a fun time, a pleasant, charitable, kind time, the only time when men and women open their shut-up hearts freely. Though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, and I say, God bless it.
You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
Dine with you? I'll see you in hell first.
But why? Why?
You married, sir, against my wishes. You married a girl with no dowry. I see no reason to bless a marriage of which I do not approve.
But Uncle, we fell in love.
Love? You fell in love. Good afternoon, sir.
You never gave that a reason for coming to see me before that happened. Why give it a reason for not coming to see me now?
Good afternoon, sir.
Nay, Uncle. We never had any quarrel to which I have been a party, but I have made this journey in homage to Christmas, and I intend to keep my Christmas humor to the last. So I say a very Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon, sir.
Scrooge O'Malley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
My most humble condolences, sir.
This is a place of business, sir. If you have some, by all means, please conduct it. If not, please leave.
Yes, of course. At this festive time of year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than highly desirable that we make some slight provision for the poor and destitute, as they suffer greatly at this present time. Many thousands are in want of common necessities, sir. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comfort, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are still. I wish I could say they would not.
The treadmill and the poor law are in full vigor then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I was afraid from what you had said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course. I am very glad to hear it.
A few of us are endeavoring to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. What should I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas and can't afford to make idle to pay taxes to support the establishments that I have mentioned. Those who are badly off must go there.
But many can't go there. Many would rather die.
If they would rather die, then they had better do so and decrease the surplus population.
But surely you do not mean...
It is not my business. It is enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, sir.
Mr. Scrooge? Mr. Scrooge?
What?
About tomorrow, sir.
Yes?
It's Christmas Day, sir.
You'll be wanting the whole day, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It is not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop you half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet, you do not think me ill-used for paying a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
And a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. I suppose you must have the whole day, but be here all the earlier next morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And a very Merry Christmas.
Bah! Humbug.
Scrooge took his usual melancholy dinner to his usual melancholy tavern. As always, he ate alone, unnoticed in a city full of people. As he walked the cold and foggy streets to home, a home that had once belonged to Jacob Marley, he began to feel an odd sensation.
As if people were watching him, and yet no other human was visible on that dark and dismal street upon which Scrooge resided. But it still seemed as if...
What? Who is that? Who is that? Come out into the open where I can see you. If you don't show yourself, I'll call a constable. I'll see you slapped in prison, sir. Do you hear me? Show yourself. Who are you?
But there was no answer, nor could Scrooge see any person. There was only a bitter wind that blew down the lane.
Scrooge, who most certainly did not possess a vivid imagination, found himself greatly disturbed, and hurried to his dwelling at a much more rapid pace than normal for him. Once inside his gloomy rooms, he closed the door and locked himself in.
Double locked himself in, which was not his custom. After Scrooge was safely secured behind his bedroom door and dressed in his gown, he reflected on the odd sensations he had just experienced and came to the only conclusion a man of Scrooge's temperament was capable of.
Humbug. Just the wind, that's all. Playing tricks. Humbug.
Ebenezer Scrooge!
What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You don't believe in me.
I don't.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You could be an undigested bit of beef, a blotch of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy than grave about you. Mercy! Dreadful admiration! Why do you haunt me?
Man of a worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do. I must. But why do spirits walk this earth? And why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit goes forth, not in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world, oh, woe is me, and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth and turned into happiness.
You wear chains. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. It is link by link and yard by yard. I girded it on of my own free will, and of my own free will, I wore it. Does this pattern look strange to you, or are you aware of the weight and length of the strong coil that you bear yourself? As full and as heavy and as long as this, 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob, speak some comfort to me. Jacob!
I have none to give Ebenezer Scrooge. I cannot stay. I cannot rest. I cannot linger anywhere. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole, and where new journeys lie before me.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind is my business. The common welfare is my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence were all my business. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down, and never raise them to that blessed star which led the wise men to a poor abode? Were there no poor homes to this life have conducted me? Hear me. My time is nearly gone. I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate.
You were always a good friend to me.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance you mentioned, Jacob?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once? Have it over with, Jacob?
Expect the second when the bell tolls 2. Expect the third when the bell tolls 3.
Scrooge tried to say humbug, but stopped at the first syllable, and being from the emotions he had undergone, or the fatigues of the day, he went straight to bed and fell asleep upon the instant.
What? The hour strikes. Hello? Is anyone there? Ha! Well, Jacob Marley, wrong in death as you were in life. Humbug! Do you hear me, Jacob? Humbug!
Are
you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
What business brings you here, spirit?
Your welfare.
I am much obliged. However, if I might make so bold, a night of unbroken rest might be more conducive to that end.
I am here to your acclamation. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
Spirit, I am mortal and liable to fall. Besides which, the thermometer is below freezing and I am dressed poorly.
Bear but a touch of my hand, and you shall be upheld in more than this. Scrooge took the hand of the spirit, seeing no alternative, and was amazed to discover himself transported through the wall. On emerging from the other side, he discovered that the city had entirely vanished. Not a vestige of it was to be seen. The darkness and the mist had vanished with it, for it was a clear, cold day with snow upon the ground.
Good heaven! I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Do you recollect the way?
Remember it. I could walk it blindfolded. Look, there's my old school.
These are the shadows of the things that have been. They have no consciousness of us. The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
Yes, I know.
Do you recognize this child, Ebenezer Scrooge?
It is I.
Why are you left here alone?
The other boys have gone home for the Christmas holidays to be with their families.
Not you?
No, my father, he was... No, I stayed at school.
How sad to be all alone on Christmas Day.
But I was not alone. Look, there you see how I read. In those books, I found my solace. Ali Baba and the Sultan's Groom put upside down by the genie. Robinson Crusoe and the Friday running for their lives and sailing around the world. Why, how could you say that I was alone when I had companions like these to keep me company? I never felt lonesome as long as I had a book. Never. Never. Poor boy.
Let us see another Christmas.
It's Fan, my sister. But she's been dead for years.
Fan, how wonderful to see you.
Ebenezer, a Merry Christmas to you, dear brother.
I had forgotten how beautiful she was.
Is that all you have forgotten?
Ebenezer, I have the most wonderful Christmas present for you.
Why, Fan, to seeing you is present enough.
Well, I hope you shall feel the same way after seeing me every day.
What?
That is your Christmas present. Brother, I have come to bring you home. To bring you home, dear brother.
Home, Fan?
Yes, home for good and all. Home forever and ever. Father is so much kinder now than he used to be. He spoke to me so gently one night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask once more if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should. And he sent me in a coach to bring you.
You are to be a man and are never to come here again. But first, we're to be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in the world.
You're quite a woman, Fan. You've no idea how much this means to me.
Or you to me, brother, and I swear we shall never be separated again, as long as we both shall live.
Quickly then, let us leave this dreary place. If I am forced to spend one more minute within these walls, I shall surely expire. Oh, what a Merry Christmas, Fan.
And the happiest New Year ever, Ebenezer.
Fan! Fan!
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered, but she had a large heart.
So she had. You were right, Spirit. I'll not gainsay it.
She died a woman and had, as I recall, children.
One child.
True, your nephew, Fred.
Yes.
Well, I am sure that Fan, wherever she is, must be comforted with the knowledge that her son has someone to look after him, as she looked after you. Come, we have another Christmas to visit. Do you know this place?
Oh, of course I know it. I was apprenticed here.
Yo ho, my boys!
It's old Fezziwig! Bless his heart, it's Fezziwig alive again!
Yo ho, my boys! No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Tom. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have all these books closed and put away before a man can say Jack Robinson. Clear away, my lads, and let's have lots of room here tonight. Tally-ho, Tom. Tally-ho, Ebenezer. There's much festivities to be commenced before the night is out. But if there be one bite of cold roast or a germ of cheer left over ere this night is out, I shall to hang my head in shame in the streets.
Ha! The day, husband, you hang your head in shame over any deed of yours is the day judgment shall come.
It's Mrs. Fezziwig! Alive as well!
Tom, Ebenezer, see how I'm tormented by this disastrous spouse of mine? Oh, what foolishness caused me to betroth myself to one such as her.
Perhaps the same foolishness that caused you to follow me home from services for 17 Sabbaths in a row until my father threatened to call the constable if you did not leave me be. Oh, what foolishness caused me to intercede on your behalf.
Well, seeing as you were hopelessly smitten and in love with me, you had but little choice, my dear.
I had many choices, and most of them had a much more pleasing appearance than you, sir. However, we have no time for such nonsense. See here, our guests have arrived.
Ebenezer, I believe you have made the acquaintance of the very charming Miss Wilson.
Belle!
Indeed, I have the very great pleasure. You look most especially breathtaking tonight, Miss Wilson.
Why, thank you very much, Mr. Scrooge. It is most kind of you to say so.
You two young people must excuse me. That wife of mine has been tempting a cat to be left alone among so many eligible bachelors. You know, Ebenezer, the key to having a rich and happy life is finding the right companion.
I find my employer has most sound advice. Do you not, Miss Wilson?
Indeed I do, Mr. Scrooge. In fact, I have found myself thinking greatly upon such matters in recent days.
And have you come to any conclusions?
Most assuredly, I have.
Belle, I have no money. I have nothing to offer you. I hope one day to make a success, but as yet, I am a poor man.
Which is all very well, Ebenezer, for I am a poor woman. And yet, together, I believe we shall be blessed with many riches that cannot be found in any bank or counting house.
Come you two, plenty of time for planning and scheming on other days. There's a whole life in front of you, I dare say. But tonight, we must join the company and make merry. Christmas is but once a year.
Mrs. Fezziwig, if you do not come and dance with me, for on this instant, I shall find one of these charming young ladies to take your place.
Ha! Old man, the only place these ladies will take you is the graveyard. Now, why don't you stop talking for once in your life and dance with me?
possesses you to say that? Why, Fezziwig was a wonderful man, perhaps the greatest man I have ever met. He was like a father to me.
Look at him, dancing like a monkey, spending a very few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 pounds at most. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that. It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to make his employees happy or unhappy, to make their services light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. And yet with his good humor and kindness, the happiness he gives us is quite as if it had cost a great fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing.
Something, I think.
No, I should just like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk. That's all. It's nothing.
My time grows short. Look and see. Do you remember this Christmas Day, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I do not wish to see this. Kindly take me home. Did you hear me? I said take me away from this place.
This is absurd. You're being ridiculous.
It matters little. To you, very little. Another idol has displaced me. And if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to, then I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even dealing of the world, then. There is nothing which is so hard as poverty, and nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one, and now only gain engrosses you. Is this not true?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I am not changed towards you, am I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feelings tell you that you are not what you are. I am. That which promised happiness when we were one heart is now fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I have thought of this, I shall not say. It is enough that I have thought of it and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words? No, never.
And what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit. Tell me, if this had never been between us, would you still seek me out and try to win me now? A dowerless girl?
You think not?
I release you with a full heart for the love of him you once were. You may have pain in this. For a very, very brief time, and then you will dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which it happened so well that you awoke. May you be happy in the life that you have chosen.
Stop her! You fool! Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you torture me? No more. I do not wish to see any more. Remove me. Haunt me no longer.
Scrooge was startled to find himself back in his bedchamber, with no sign of the spirit in sight. Exhausted and overcome by an irresistible drowsiness, he sank into a heavy sleep, where he remained until he was awakened by the toll of a clock.
It was striking upon the hour of 2.
Come, Ebenezer Scrooge, and come and know me better, man, for I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. Have you never seen the like of me before?
Never.
Have never walked forth with the younger members of my family?
I'm afraid I have not. Have you many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for.
Come, take my robe.
Spirit, conduct me where you will. Spirit, where is this?
Don't you know?
I have never been to this place as far as I can recollect.
It is the house of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. Come, let us enter.
Oh, no, Spirit. I am not properly dressed and have received no proper invitation. Perhaps we shall be better off at my own dwelling.
We will enter, and have no fear, for as with my fellow spirit, they will neither see nor hear you.
His father, then, and his Tiny Tim, and where is Martha? Oh, I do hope she won't be late for Christmas dinner.
Here's Martha, Mother. Merry Christmas, Peter. Merry Christmas, Mother. Merry Christmas, Martha. Mother was getting quite worried about you.
Whatever did keep you, my dear?
We had a deal of work to finish up last night, clear away this morning. Where are Father and Tiny Tim?
Here you come now. Quick, hide, Martha, hide.
Merry Christmas, all. I bet you thought we'd been swallowed up in some mysterious place. Why, where's our Martha? Surely she must be here by now.
She's not coming.
What's not coming? On Christmas Day? Why ever not?
It can't be helped. She's got too much work to finish.
There won't be a true Christmas without Martha. Father, you must do something, please.
Here I am, Tim. I'll win this Christmas with you for the world.
Martha!
Merry Christmas, Tim. Merry Christmas, Father.
Merry Christmas, my dear, and what a horrid trick to plan. And on Christmas Day, yes.
And how does little Tim behave at church?
As good as gold and better. He gets so thoughtful sitting by himself. It's the strangest things you've ever heard. On the way home, he told me he hoped people saw him in the church because he was a cripple, and it'd be pleasant for them to see he who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. And so too shall our Tim be healed. He's growing stronger and stronger every day.
Yes, of course, Bob. I'm sure he is as well.
Well, if we are all assembled, let's begin our feast, upon which your mother has labored mightily, with the finest stuffing, and the finest goose, and the finest plum pudding in all of England.
Yay!
And so, the Cratchit family sat down to their Christmas feast. It would have not taken much, I suppose, to notice that the house in which the feast was being served was cramped and cold, or that the clothes that the family wore, although clean, were shabby and had been mended a few more times than perhaps was advisable.
And the goose, when it finally appeared, was like the dwelling, much too small to provide for a family of the Cratchit's size. Yet there was potatoes and applesauce and pudding to make up for the smallness of the goose, and love filled the rest. While it was true that there was not a morsel on the table by the end of the meal, all had had enough. The love that turned the Cratchits' hovel into a castle kept them from seeing the poverty that surrounded them.
Well, I dare say the Queen herself did not dine as fine tonight as did the Cratchits.
Well, I was rather pleased with the pudding, if I say so myself.
And so you should be, my dear, and so you should be. And now, let us have a toast. Let us count our many blessings. God bless us all.
God bless us, everyone.
He's all right, my dear. He's been having these spells lately, but he'll be right as rain in a short while. Isn't that true, my little angel?
Yes, Mother. I'm feeling much better already.
Tell me, Spirit, will the child live?
I see a vacant seat in the chimney corner and a crutch without an owner carefully preserved. These shadows remain unaltered by the future. The child will die.
No, Spirit. Oh no, kind Spirit. Say he be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, then none other than my kind shall find him here. But what then? If he'd be like to die, he had better do so and decrease the surplus population.
You use my own words against me.
Then maybe you should hold your tongue until you discover what the surplus population is and where it lives. And maybe, in sight of heaven, you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
And now, let us have a toast. To the founder of this feast, Mr. Scrooge.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I'd hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, Christmas Day, the children.
It would have to be Christmas Day, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Ebenezer Scrooge. You know he is, Robert, and nobody knows it better than you.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink to his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. A long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, no doubt.
Come, Martha. Let's go and sing songs by the fire, shall we?
Splendid idea, Peter. Shall we, Tim?
Martha, can I choose the songs, please? May I?
Of course you can, Tim, and although this family is blessed with happiness and love, it is not similarly blessed with musical ability.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la la la.
Come, let us leave them in peace. We have other places to journey.
Of a beast, a horrible, evil beast that stalks the streets of London.
A tiger.
No,
A lion.
no.
A cow.
You are an idiot.
A rat.
Close.
An axe.
Close still.
I know, it's your uncle, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Exactly.
Go on, dear, tell them what your uncle said today.
He said that Christmas was a humbug, and as I live, he believed it true.
Surely you exaggerate, Fred. Well, I've no doubt he's a stingy old miser. No living creature can be that sour.
Well, my love, as he's not given you the dubious pleasure of meeting your acquaintance, you shall have to accept my word for it. He's a comical old fellow whose actions have their own disciplines.
Is he as rich as they say, dearest?
I suppose he is, but what of it? He makes no use of it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He doesn't even give himself the pleasure of leaving it to us when he dies. Ha!
Well, I've no patience with him.
Oh, I do. I couldn't be in with him even if I tried. Who suffers his ill wins, himself always. Here he takes it into his head to dislike us. What's the consequence? He loses a very nice meal and the company of those beautiful women in all of London. And by not making merry with us, he loses some very pleasant moments that can do him no harm. Therefore, every year, I intend to give him the same chance, whether he likes it or not, for I pity him.
Well, my dear, if you're quite finished making speeches, perhaps our guests would enjoy some pudding.
Ah, yes, your pudding. Perhaps there will be more survivors this year.
Pity me? A poor man married to a poor woman, and he pities me?
You truly think them to be poor?
I am very familiar with my nephew's financial situation. He has nothing.
How odd. I would have made the same observation about you.
I'll have you know, sir, that my worth
Your worth is worthless, Ebenezer Scrooge. Well, it looks like our time together is finished. Fare thee well, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Spirit, where are you going? I am not familiar with this part of town. I do not know my way home. Spirit, I'm afraid. Spirit, where have you gone? Take me home, please. I do not know where I am. Spirit, do you hear me? Help me! Spirit! Spirit! Why have you abandoned me? Please, I'm all alone.
Ebenezer Scrooge, wealthy man of business, envied by the people he passed in the street for his money, his influence, and his power, found himself, on Christmas Eve, forsaken and lost. His fortune of little use to him in this place, wherever this place was. But Scrooge was wrong in one thing. He was not alone.
Am I in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come? You are about to show me the things that have not happened but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future? I fear you more than any specter I have seen. Will you not speak to me? Lead on, then. The night is waning fast, and it is precious time to me, I know.
I don't know much about it. Either way, I only know he's dead.
I know this place. I do business here every afternoon. Those are the men that I do business with.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
Heaven knows. What has he done with his money? Left it to his company's post. Hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral. Upon my life, I can't imagine anyone who will go.
I'll go if lunch is provided. However, I must be fed.
Spirit, I must confess, I am confused. What was the purpose of that discussion? Who were those men talking about? Why am I not at my usual table? It is 1:30 the hour. I am always at my table at this time. Spirit, this is the most vile part of the city. Why have you brought me here? What has this place got to do with me?
All right, then, let's see what goodies you got.
I'm hoping you won't be none too particular about where certain items come from. Will you now, Joe?
Every person has a right to take care of themselves, Mrs. Slattish. He always did.
That's true enough. Besides, who's the worse for a loss of a few things?
Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
Why, if you wanted to keep him after he was dead, the wicked old screw, he should have been more natural in his lifetime. Why, if he had been, he'd had somebody there to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying there, gasping under his last breath, alone, by himself.
It's the truest word that was ever spoke. It's a judgment on him. What do you call these blankets? You don't mean to say that you took these down, rings and all, with him lying there.
Yes, I do. And why not?
You were born to make your fortune. His blankets.
He isn't likely to take cold without them.
Here, he didn't die of anything catching, did he?
I ain't so fond of his company that I'd loiter around if he did. Take a look at that shirt there. It's the finest thing he had, not a mark on it. And to think they would have wasted it without me.
What do you mean, wasted it?
Buried him in it, of course. I had to take it right off of him. What difference does it make what they stick on him? There's not a single soul who comes to pay respects. Why, I would mind. I would have buried him stark naked, and nobody would have noticed. Now come on, Joe. How much is your offer?
£2, 5 and 6 pence, and not a penny more. I always give too much to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine, and it's how I ruin myself.
What is the meaning of all of this? Why do you show me these filthy criminals? I do not know them. I have no dealings with such scoundrels as these. Who is the pitiable man they speak of? Spirit, this is a fearful place. Let us go. I understand you wish me to raise the sheet. I tell you I cannot. I would if I could, but I have not the power. Spirit, I have not the power. All you have shown me is death, and no emotion connected with death, but avarice and indifference. I demand that you show me some tenderness, some compassion connected with death.
And he took a child, set him in the midst of them.
The light hurts my eyes. The candle makes them weak. If they're better now again, I wouldn't show rise to your father when he gets home, not for the world. It must be near his time.
Paused it rather. He walks slower than he used to.
Yes, but I have known him to walk very fast indeed, with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder, and so have I. He was very light to carry, and his father loved him so. It was no trouble at all.
I'm sorry I'm late, my dear. I took a walk past there.
You went there, Robert? Today?
Yes, it would have done you good to see how great a place it is, but you'll see it often. I promised him I'd walk past there every Sunday. Oh, my child, oh, my little child.
Please don't be so sad, Father. We missed him as well.
We all miss him, and we always shall. And I know that however and whenever we are apart, we shall none of us forget poor Tiny Tim. Shall we?
Never, Mother.
We promise.
And I know that when we remember how patient and mild he was, although he was a little child, we will not easily quarrel amongst ourselves, but shall count our many blessings. I am a very happy man. A very happy man.
Spirit, I need to see nothing more. I have seen all that I have asked to see. question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are they the shadows of the things that may be? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends to which, if preserved in, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, the ends will change. Say it thus with what you show me. Oh no, spirit! Oh no, no, spirit! Hear me! I am not the man that I was. I will not be the man that I have been. Why show me this if I am beyond all hope? Good spirit, your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Assure me that I yet may change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me, I may wipe away the visions that you have shown me. Spirit, am I alive? I am alive in my own room. My bed curtains, they are not torn down. The shadows of the things that would have been may be dispelled. They will be. Oh, Jacob Marley, I say it on my knees. Oh, Jacob, on my knees. May God bless and forgive you, my friend. Thank you. I don't know what to do. I am as light as a feather. I am as happy as an angel. I am as merry as a schoolboy. I am as giddy as a drunken man. A Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to the whole world. I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. Boy! Hello, boy! What day is it?
Eh?
What's today, my fine fellow?
Today? Well, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. Well, of course they can. They can do anything. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello.
Do you know the butcher shop in the next street but one at the corner?
I should hope I do. I've lived here my whole life.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
It's hanging there now.
Go and buy it.
You're bleeding loony.
No, I am in earnest. Go and fetch the proprietor of the shop and bring him here with the bird. Come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with the man in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown.
Yeah!
I shall send it to Bob Cratchit. You shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. They'll have a Christmas feast with the lights they've never seen. The whole family will be fit to be tied.
although, if truth be told, he did not appear so old as he once seemed, dressed very quickly and set out into the streets. And although they were the very same streets he had walked upon for these many years, in truth, he saw them for the very first time. And most important of all, he saw the people who walked upon those same streets for the first time in many and many a year.
Yes, that is my name, and I fear that it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you do me the very great favor of accepting the donation in the amount of...
My dear Mrs. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me this favor?
I do not know what to say to such a gentleman, so magnificent.
Don't say anything, please. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
Yes, sir, most assuredly I will.
Thank you. I am much obliged to you. Thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Scrooge walked through the streets of London the whole day, breathing in the cold, crisp air. And as evening approached, he found himself at a certain doorstep. He passed the door at least a dozen times before summoning the courage to knock.
Welcome in a very merry Uncle Ebenezer.
Hello, Fred. May I come in?
What? I mean, of course, please do come in.
Thank you, Fred. It is very kind of you. I'm sorry to bother you, but I felt that there was something I must tell you.
What is it, Uncle Ebenezer?
I wanted to tell you, Merry Christmas, Fred.
I beg your pardon?
No, Fred, I have come to beg yours. A Merry Christmas to you. And your lovely wife, is she at home?
Why, yes, she is.
I wonder if you would do me the very great pleasure of introducing me to your wife?
Yes, Uncle, nothing would give me more pleasure. Darling, could you come down here for a minute? I have a very special Christmas gift for you.
Why, Fred, I told you you're going to be quite enough gifts. Oh, hi.
Amelia, meet my uncle, Ebenezer Scrooge. Uncle, my wife, Amelia.
I am honored. I hope, Madame, that you will someday find that it is in your nature to forgive me for the unforgivable way I have behaved towards you and my nephew.
Uncle?
What I would like to say to you is that my dear sister, Fan, Fred's mother, would have been most pleased to know that her son had wed such a wonderful and gracious woman. It would have been her fondest wish.
Well, if you allow me to disagree with you, Uncle, I do believe that her fondest wish was to have you here tonight in Fred's home for Christmas. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for making it come true. Will you dine with us tonight?
I do not wish to intrude. I know that you have company coming and...
Uncle, if you do not dine with us tonight, I will have to tie you to the chair.
Well, in that case, I most humbly accept.
He was at home in 5 minutes. It was a wonderful dinner, followed by a wonderful party, with wonderful company and wonderful games. There was wonderful happiness. But on the next morrow, when Scrooge returned to his counting house at the usual hour, the door was still locked, no fire lit, nor candle burning.
Bob Cratchit was past his hour. In fact, he was very well past his hour. And when the clock struck out 9:15, and Cratchit had not yet arrived, it was a very serious matter indeed.
Mr. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I was making rather merry, you see, yesterday. It will not be repeated.
Step this way, if you please. I'll tell you what, my friend. I am not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I am sorry to say, I am going to be forced to double your salary.
Please, Mr. Scrooge, if you'd only... What did you say?
Merry Christmas, Bob. I am going to double your salary, and I will endeavor to assist your family in any way that I can, if you will be so kind as to let me. But of course, we can discuss this all over a Christmas bowl this afternoon, Bob. But first, you must get a fire going in here. This miserable place is freezing. It's a wonder we haven't got icicles growing on us, eh, Bob? What say you go out and fetch us some more coal before you get on the ride, Bob Cratchit?
Yes, sir. And thank you, sir.
No. Thank you, Bob. A Merry Christmas to you, my friend, with many more to come.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, Scrooge was a second father. He became as good a man, as good an employer, as good a friend, as the good old city had ever known, or any other town, city, or borough in the good old world. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. I mean, that be said of all of us, and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.